In the recording. Yeah. So yesterday we discussed about the background job administration, like how to create the background jobs and how to check the background jobs and the job status steps, all these things we discussed, right? So as part of the SAP work process concept, SAP work process concept, so we discussed about the dialog, update, and queue background. So this four we discussed. Next we have M. So M means message server. M means so message server. So what is the use of this message server? What is the use of this message server? So message server is responsible to perform the load balancing activities. To perform the load balancing activities. To perform the load balancing to the respective application server, respective application servers. Okay, load balancing to the respective application server, load balancing to the respective app servers. So we have multiple application server. So what the message server will do, it will check where the in which application server the load is less, then it will allocate the your user request to that one. Here we will use the transaction code SMMS. So SMMS is the transaction code to to check the status of the message server, whether the message server is running or not. So all these things we can see in the SMMS, message server monitoring. So how the load balancing works? So what is this load balancing? So which means if you see here, so suppose as we discussed, right? So in the multiple application servers, if you install the multiple application servers, suppose if you see where the message server exists, so we have the two instances will be created, right? One is the application server and the second one is the ASCS. Two instances will be created. Okay. So where the message server exists, like it's running, which instance? ASCS or primary application server, where the message server exists. Okay, ASCS, right? In the ASCS instance, we have the ASCS instance, we have the message server will be up and running. You can see ASCS message server is up and running. This is the ASCS instance. So what is ASCS means? M plus E, message server plus NQ server. This both are called the ASCS instance. Where message server NQ server is running, that is called the ASCS instance. So remaining instances like dispatcher, so gateway, so remaining all work process above process tables. So here we have, here in the primary application server, in the primary application server we have remaining all available. Okay, now let's log into the system now. Let's log into the system now. Okay, so just if you double click on it, so if you double click on it, the system will perform the load balancing activity. So when you are creating here, just you can see here, just there is a create button. You just click on the create the connection entry to the respective server. So here custom application server, connection type is the custom application server. Apart from that, you have the group server selection as well. Not only custom application server, you have the group server selection as well. So when we have to choose this group server selections, so normally when you have more than one application server, so which means 2+ application servers are available, so then you can use the group application server. Here message server will perform the load balancing activity. Okay, message server will perform the load balancing activity. So in our ECP we will create the one more application server, we can create it. Okay, let's log into the system and we have check the status here. Here we can check the status here. Where can we check the application servers? Where can we check the active application servers? Where can we check the active application server status? In SM51, if you see here we can see the active application server status. One application server is active. So one application server is active here. One application server is active here. So only one is active. So if you perform the load balancing, so if you directly connect to the application server, you have only one application server. So you can directly connect to this application server, or through ASCS also you can connect to this one. So normally how this load balancing works means, you can see here, this is our SAP GUI, right? So this is our SAP application server. This is our SAP application server. This is our database, right? So here we have ASCS instance. Whenever you do the first time installation, you will get the one ASCS instance, then one primary application server instance, you will get it out, right? One host. This is the host. This is the Windows applications, Windows host. In this host, Windows server, you did the, so you installed the SAP, which means one is the ASCS instance, then primary application server instance, you will get it out. This is the DB server. You will get the all these things. So this is the first time. So there is a business load. This application server is not serving the, there is a load. There is a high load. This application server is getting slow. To avoid this one, we have one concept. We can install the additional application server, means extra application server to the same SID. We can install it. For that one, so either same system we can install the additional application server, or in the different server, in the different server itself, you can install the different server itself. You can install the different server, means different OS itself. You can install the multiple application servers. We can install it. Multiple application servers we can install it. Multiple application servers we can install it. This is called the additional application. These all are the SAP application servers only. SAP application servers. So these are the additional application servers, and these are the additional application servers. So all this will handle the load. All this like either the primary application server or remaining application servers as the work process. Same as like these are the work process will have. All application servers will have the all the work process like dialog, update, background, spool, update. All these work process having the, so same each application server having the same resources to handle the user request, to handle the background jobs, to updating the records and all these things. Each application server has the same set of work process. So why we have to build the additional application server needs? So you have only one. This application server, more users are logging, which means these resources, existing resources, are unable to serve the request. In this case, what we can do, we can install the one more additional application servers. We can install it. Then we can attach to the primary. We can install it. Here we have the 3 application servers. We have 3 application servers here. So whenever the user log in, so directly, this is the user. Suppose example, he is the user. He is opened the login pad. Whenever user log in, what we are doing now, we are directly configuring the application server. We are directly configuring the application server. This is the application server we are directly configuring. This is the application server we are directly configuring. But remaining 2 are also there, but you are only connecting to the either this one, either this one, either this one. You are connecting to directly to the application server here. So suppose example here, you are directly connecting to the application server. Just click on the plus symbol, connection. Then next symbol, directly you are using the application server. Directly you are using the application server. Directly you are connecting to the application server, custom application server. So just you are giving the information, application server name, instance number, everything. Suppose you directly connecting to the application server. Suppose if this application server is down due to some issues, but remaining 2 are active, you will not be logging to the system. Why? Because you are only dedicatedly connecting to this application server only. You are dedicatedly connecting to this application server. So that's the reason you cannot connect it. But if you are the more than one application server, what SAP is recommending, instead of connecting this way, then you can use the one way, like you can directly connecting to the ASCS instance. Then this ASCS will perform the load balancing activity. ASCS means Here in the ACS, we have the message server. The message server will perform the load balancing activity. So in this case, we have the three application servers. Instead of directly connecting to the one application server, if we connect, ACS is only one, DB is only one, ACS is only one, DB is only one, ACS is only one, DB is only one, DB is only one, ACS one, DB is only one. Okay, so but application servers, SAP application servers, we can install n number of application servers, we can install it. That's not a problem. Number of application servers, we can go ahead and install it. Okay, number of application servers, we can install it. Okay, so here, so when you are directly connecting to the application server, if this is the down, you will not be logged into the SAP system. Why? Because you are directly connecting to the application server, even though you have this one is active. But when you are connecting through message server, so message server will check the load balancing. ASS means message server. Message server will check it. So out of these three, which one has less load? Then your request will be allocated to that particular application, the particular process it will allocate it. If this is the down, what exactly happens? Okay, message server will assume that okay, this application server is down, then your request will be assigned to the remaining two, it will be assigned. Remaining two application servers, it will assign it. If this is also down, we have only one that will be allocated to this application server. So like that, but this is also down, then nothing is there. So you cannot log into the SAP system. Why? Because all three down. So you cannot log into the SAP system. So this is the way, so our load balancing will work. Now you got it right. So through message server, whenever you configure the group server selection, so group server selection means through message server. Through message server, your request will be routed to the respective application servers, through message server. So respective application servers, it will be routed. So message server will check that one. Which application server has less load? Which application server has less load? Then based on that, it will allocate the request to that particular application server. This way the load balancing works. Suppose in our system, so we don't have only one application server we have. If we want to add the multiple application servers, we have to install it. We have to install the additional application server. How we have to do that one? That I will tell you now. Okay. So description. So we can configure two ways, either the group server selection or custom application server. So group server selection. So in this case, ECP. So suppose like the groups through message server. So here we need to enter the SID ECP. Here message server details. What is our message server details? SAP. So Windows, SAP Windows. You can see so here we have only one. If you go to the SMMS, is the transaction code. There you can check the status of our message server. Message server is running on the SAP Windows. Okay, SAP Windows, and port number is the 3612. This is the message server details. Here we can check the status of the message server and everything. So what exactly the message server will do means it will perform the load balancing activity. Here we have to configure the host name and port number. Then just click on the rotary symbol is not required. Just click on this one. You will get the groups here. Just to select any one of the group. So what is this group means? I will explain. So just click on the next button, fix it. Then your group server selection is configured. So whenever you click it, if you have the multiple application server, your user request will be allocated to the respective application server. Any one of the application server where we have the less load. So suppose this user has two users. Does not have the one user. Then your request will be allocated to here. Then next request will be allocated to here. Then the next request will be allocated to here. Like that. So your request will be allocated to the respective application server. right? So that information we can find out in the SMMS, the message server related transaction code. Here, all this information we can find out from the SMMS. So what exactly the message server will do means it will perform the load balancing related activities. It will perform the load balancing related activities. So now let's see SM37. So we see yesterday anyone created any jobs yesterday. Let's see. Just I'm pulling the through filter. So I think yes, I think we have many are created. Many are created. Okay, what is this job? This is running every 2 minutes and between 6 to 19. In with these two lines, every 2 minutes, the job is executing. Okay, job is executing. So excellent. Good work, man. So like that, you can see in others also. I think I don't think others created. I think yes, others also created this one. Yeah, yes, right, exactly. Next, so you can see here, yeah, every 2 minutes this job is also running. So what is this step? So there is a one program, whatever it may be. There is a one spool. What is this spool means? So this is same job log will be the results. The execution of this job log will be displayed actually. The spool. The printing purpose we will use it actually. This spool. So the printing purpose we will use it. This spool and everything. Okay, so actually we have one concept that is called the spool work process, BVEBMGS. That is the last work process. During that time we will discuss about this spool and everything. Okay, I think you are practiced. It's a very excellent. Okay, so then apart from that, message server we discussed. Now message server we discussed. So here we have only one application server. If you directly connect it or withoutly directly connected group server selection, there is no effective. Why? Because we have only one application server for here. So how to install the multiple application servers here then? Instead of multiple SIDs, how to install the multiple application servers? Go to the service, go to the our SAP software SWPM. Here, if you have the SWPM, so in the SWPM, just to open the SAP INST. So here there is an option to install additional application server for same SID, same SID. So now you will get the option now. See, so if you have the two application server, our best example will work now. Our live example will work now. Why? Because we will down the one application server, then we can still see whether you are able to connect to the SAP system or not. That will work. So now we will try to initiate the additional application server here now. Okay. So I'm just I started the SWPM, then entering the password here. So here to normally whenever you want to install any product, you will go to the SAP NetWeaver or SAP Business Suite. We will go it right here. We have to go to the generic option, select the database. So select the database, then so there is an option to install the additional application server. You have the option to install the additional application servers. So that option we will get from here. So let's see where we have this option. Additional SAP instances, additional application server instance. Okay, additional application server. So here installation. So normally we will use the application server above, and below next step we have the application server installation, additional application server installation. So that we have to install it. It will be very quick, this application server. Why? Because we have already SAP installed. Just we are adding the another application server for the load balancing, to handle the user related request and everything. We are installing this one. So just click the additional application server. Just click the typical. So why we are installing this new again means, so we have to discuss about the message server load balancing activity, how this load balancing works and everything. We have only one application server. This is the instance we have. We are installing the one more additional application server to perform the load balancing activity. So one is enough, but to check this functionality, load balancing functionality, everything, we are discussing about the one more application server we are discussing. We need to select the profile, then just click on the next button. It will be very quick. So it will be very quick, but let's see. Password for all users we are giving here. Okay, it is installing. So let's see. Let's do the inputs and we'll discuss the other topic as well immediately. Okay. So yeah. Okay. While it is in progress. Okay. So while it is in progress, message server now what we are discussing it through message server, we will log in to the respective application server. So how this will work depends upon the groups we have to create it. So logon groups we have to create it. Logon groups we have to create it. That is called the logon groups we have to create it. It depends upon the logon groups in SMLG transaction code. We have to create the logon groups. Whatever the group you create it, same group we have to choose it. Then, so it depends upon this one, you can log into the respective application server. Depends upon the group, we will select it. So where we have to create the logon groups means in SMLG, we have to create it. In SMLG, we have to create the this logon groups and everything. We have to create it in SMLG transaction code. So now we'll see how to so create the group. So let's give the input from here. Then, so what is the instance number it is going to install it? So we have ECP 11 and 12. Now we will take for the, so 10. 10 we will give it. Why? Because 10, 11, two application servers are so near to number. That's why I given the choosing the 10 application server. 10. Okay. See, just only it is asked the inputs, just asked the inputs and everything. Just to provide the asked the profile and passwords and instance number. Just click on this button, then automatically the new application server will be getting installed. Okay. New app server is getting installed here. So while we complete this topic, so it will be installed. Okay. So now we are discussing about the groups. What is this groups? Logon groups. Okay. Logon groups. What are this logon groups means? You see, when we are configuring the group application server instead of custom application server, when you are configuring the group application server, so you provide the description, SID, message server, and group. What is this group means? So through group, the users will log into the respective systems, respective app server through group. To group, it will be distribute the load to the respective systems. Message server will through group, it will distribute the load to this one. Suppose if you have the multiple application servers are there, message server will route the request to the all the application server. But I don't want to route the request to this application server. In this case, you can create the group. You can remove this application server from the group. Then application server, your user request will route the request to the only this one and this one. It will not route the request to this one. Why? Because this is not part of the group. That's why it will not do route the request to this application server. So if this is also in the group list, it will allocate the request to the, and also it will allocate the request to the respective application server. These three application servers, and it will equally distribute the load. Suppose I don't want to equally distribute the load to this application server. That is the last application server. You don't want to distribute the load here. In this case, what we can do here? In this case, what we can do? We can we can remove the application server from the group, logon groups. Then the message server, it won't send the request to the this application server. Message server, it won't send the request to the this application server. This way, we have a group concept. SAP introduced groups concept. So logon groups concept. While logging through group, you will connect to the respective systems, right? So here, one more advantage is we can create the multiple groups. Go to the SMLG where we have to create the group means you have to go to the SMLG transaction code. Here we can create the groups. SMLG transaction code. We can create the group here. Through this group, suppose here one more advantage is we can create the group who depends upon the country. Suppose all Indian users, suppose all Asia users are Indian users. So they want to log into the only this application server. All Asia users, they want to connect to the only this 11 application servers. Then just click on the grid. So if you have the one more application server, then you can just add this Asia group to the here. So like that, we can create the groups here. Depends upon the groups. So your request will be generated. Depends upon the group, your request will be generated. Just select it. Just click on the create assignment. Suppose all India users should log into this instance. Then in this case, only Indian users will forward Indian users will log in through this group to only this application servers. Asia users to this application servers, US users to this application server. Like that, we can distribute the load. So equally, we can all the countries, we can distribute the loads to all the three systems. Whatever you want, how you want to choose it. So same way we can distribute and we can do that one. Where we have to do this configuration means, so in SMLG, we have to perform the configurations. In SMLG, we have to perform the configuration. Here we can see how many users are logged in SMLG, what is the response time of the each and every user. All this information we can find out from the SMLG. SMLG is the transaction code to create the logon groups here. So when you create the only one application server, you have only one group you created, right? So whenever you are logging, if you are logging with India user, then immediately your request will be forwarded to the only this application server. Then you created the one more group that is called the UK. Then all UK users, so this is just assume this is the one more application server. This is the one more different application server. Then you created this one. That time only UK users will log into the only this application server. Like this application server, they will log in. So like that, country wise, we can distribute the load to the respective dedicated application server or so whatever we want. Like if you add the 3 application servers into the same group, so message server, so in the message server will distribute the load, distribute to the among these application servers, and it will complete your user request. It will complete your user request. This way, the load balancing works. So depends upon the groups in SMLG, the load balancing will work it out. Okay. So this is the load balancing activity. Oh, I think we have completed. Application server is successfully installed. Now you will get the exact picture now. Okay, see here. So now we have the one more application server we have installed. Where can we check the active application server means? So we have SM51 is the transaction code. There we can check the active application servers. Here you can see the 2 active application servers. We have installed the 2 active application servers here, right? So you can see the two active application servers. Just take a note of this transaction code SM51 to check the active app servers. So we have to use the SM51 transaction code. So here we have 2 app servers are active. This is the newly we installed it. This is the application server we installed very newly. So very newly we installed it. So in this application server also, you see you have the work process and everything. So now we will get the perfect example. Okay. So SM50, this is the local work process overview. Only this ECP10 related instance related, only one instance related work process we have details here. right? If you go to the SM66, it's a global, all work process, all the instances. We have ECP10 and VCP11. See here, all the application servers related instances, all the application server related work process overview, we can see it. Now, this is the perfect example. Now, this is the perfect example here. Perfect example here. See, right? So we have all application servers related information. All means we have the two application servers now we installed. This is the ECP10 we installed during the starting. Now we installed the new one. Sorry, this is the new one we installed, ECP10 application server we installed. This is the 11. During the installation we created it. We have two application servers we installed it now for ECP. For this SAD we did the two. Previously, we just discussed about the SM50 is the local work processor. SM66 is the global work processor. Global means how many application servers we have, all the work process related information, you can see it here. Okay, SM50. SM51 is for the active application servers. You have the active application servers information. Okay, SM50. Next one is the ASM04. This is the each application server related how many users are logged into the system. So when you go to the AL08, this is the all application servers. All means now currently you have the two application servers related information will be shown here. So we have the one application server, ECP10, one user is logged in, then remaining four sessions are related to the ECP11. So all the information will be showed here. Now we will see the load balancing activity. SMLG is the transaction code. Here you can add India users. India users will log into these two application servers you are adding, right? India users you are adding to the only these two application servers. Okay, these two application servers. For India, you have configured these two application servers. India for you configured these two application servers. So now in my SAP logon pad, so this is my SAP logon pad. In SAP logon pad, what I will do here, message server 3612 group, what I will do here, India. Okay, through India, I configured here through India. I'm an Indian user, so that's why I configured the through India user. So through application servers now. Now we have the two application servers, right? ECP10 and 11, we have the two application servers. Correct, right? Is it correct? Are you guys are following, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we here basically what we are trying to achieve is now. Okay. Let me give the example here. Okay. So now I'm drawing our current architecture. This is our GUI where you guys all will log in here, will open the SAP logon pad. This is our SAP first application server and this is our database, right? So here we have ASCS also available and primary application server also available. At the same time, you have installed the one more application server, you installed one more application server, you installed it. This application server instance name is ECP12 and this is sorry ECP11 and this is the ECP10. This is the one. This is the 11. Okay, this is the 11 ECP11. This is the 11 and 10. Now 10 we install. Just now we installed the 10. Here we have the message server and NQ server is available. This is called the ASCS instance. Okay, this is called the application server, SAP app server. This is also SAP app server. Okay, so this is our logon pad. Through logon pad, so if you directly connect to this application server, what happens? If you directly connect to this application server, what happens? So if this is the down, you will not log into the system. Why? Because you have the one more is active, even though you will not log into the system. Why? Because you are directly connecting to the one dedicated application server. I will show you here. Okay. So let me stop this one. I'm stopping this application server here. Only one application server I'm stopping. We have the two app servers. One I'm stopping. Sorry. Okay. So now this is a perfect example you can see now. Okay. So in the logon pad, I have configured the two entries. One is the directly connecting to the custom application server, 11 application server, instance number 11 application server I connected. When I click on this button, you will get the message like this system is not reached. But even though you have SAP is up, another application server is up, but you dedicatedly connected to the this application server, dedicatedly connected to the this application server, but dedicatedly connected to this application server, but so even though you are unable to log into the systems. So this is the example here. You can see, so you are directly connecting to the this application server, you are unable to log in because this application server is down. You are directly connecting to the application server. Instead of you have to directly connect to the message server through group, then this message server will route the request to the available application server. Available application server, this will route it. So now I have configured the one more entry group. So through group I configured it. ECP group selection, India group I configured. So whenever you click it, now you will log into the systems. See how you log into the system now? Why? Because you have one more application server which is active, which will route the request to the, the remaining application server. This is down. When you are connecting to the message server will check, okay, which you have the two application servers. So if this is the down, right? Okay, I will forward your request to the this application server. So this will forward request to the respective application server, This way, your load balancing is working now. This is the way we have this load balancing is working now. So this is the perfect example now. So if this is the down, then if this is the active, then all your requests will be route to the, so this one. All your requests will be route to this one. So how the requests are routing means depends upon the group. Which you have created in SMLG. So in SMLG, for India group, you have the two application server, 10 and 11. But 11 is down currently. Then 10 is up. Then all your requests will route to the this 10 application server. So 10 application server. So this is the way we have to configure. The groups in the system. So where we have to configure the groups means in SMLG is the transaction code. SMLG is the transaction code. There we have to configure the groups and everything now. Okay, we have to configure the groups and everything. So this is depends. Suppose some people they want to restrict UK users to only this application server. Only this UK users to the only this application server. Then you can only configure the for UK group. You can only configure this application server. Indian users we can allow to the remaining application servers. So we don't want to log in. So like Pakistan users to the this application server. We want to assign the Pakistan users to the dedicated application server. Then we can use the 10th application server. Whatever the group you configure it. Suppose for US users, you want to assign this users to the only 10th application server. Then you can only configure the one group. You can only configure the group to the one group. Like that we have to assign it. Like that we have to assign the group to the respective application server. We have to assign it. The respective application server we have to assign it. So this is the way we have to work it out. This is the way message server, and depends upon the groups, it will allocate the request to the respective application server. Okay. Any questions from anyone? Simple. When you are connecting to the through groups message server in this two application server, if one is down, still you will log into the another application server. But when you are directly connecting to this application server, this dedicated application server is down, you cannot log in, even though this is up. Why? Because you are not connecting through groups, you are connecting through direct application servers. So two ways we can connect to the application servers. One is the through groups we can connect it, through application server you can connect it. So that connections we can make it, we can create it here in the connection type, either the custom application server or group server selection. Here we can make it out. Okay, this is the way we have to work it out. Okay, so any questions from anyone here? Jobs you guys are
Yes.
practicing, right? Jobs and all you guys are practiced, so no questions in that, right? Background jobs, yesterday we created the background jobs and everything we discussed yesterday. So once that is the completed, message server also completed. Now groups SMLG and so each transaction code, we have different transaction codes are coming. So you need to remember the all these transaction code. SM51 we discussed. This is the active app servers. How many servers are active? Then SM50, SM66, that is also we discussed. Then SMLG. This is the logon groups creation. Logon groups creation and logon groups creation. This one SMLG. So SMS is for the message server monitor. Okay, message server monitoring, and which message server is up and running, and we can see it here. The next one is the in the DVEB VM we discussed. Next one is the G for gateway work process. Okay, G for gateway work process. So what is this gateway work process using for? What is this gateway? Where it is available? So you can see this gateway work process is available in the each application server. So suppose if I open the 10th application server, the gateway is available. GWR means gateway work process is available here. So okay, what is this gateway? So just I will tell you the one example what is the gateway means. So normally in high profile homes, suppose like in high profile homes, suppose in apartments, we have the one security guard. So what this security guard will do when you are going to the inside of that apartment, what this security guard will do? Anyone can give answer? So suppose this is the apartment. Whenever you are going to the apartment, in front of the gate, you have the one gateway security person is available. So whenever you are trying to enter it from here to here, you have to go to the gateway security. The security will perform all the checks. If you are the valid person, then he will allow to go inside of the home and everything, right? This is the normal, our security checks will happen. Suppose you are going to meet one celebrity or someone, so in the gate, one person, one security guy, he will do all the checks, and if you are the authorized person only, then only he will allow inside of the home, right? Is it correct or not? Correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. the same time, so multiple users are logging to the system. So multiple connections we are making, some hackers connections, multiple. The same time, same example I will tell you here as well. The multiple persons we are logging. So some person from the hacker connections, so some other from the different connections to different cities, different ways, different networks, different way we are logging to the our SAP systems. But if you all are logging to the SAP systems and if they hack the data, what happens? They will theft our data, valuable data, financial data, company data, organizational data, they theft from our SAP systems, right? To avoid this one, we can secure our gateway. To avoid this vulnerabilities, security issues. So your gateway work process, what it will do, so whenever you are connecting to the system, this gateway work process will check are you the valid person or not. Then only it will allow the connection inside of the server. So that's why this gateway work process, what you will do, it will check. Okay, when you are logging to the SAP system, so it will check. So SAP means it's not only processing our work. So it's not only storing the data, it's not only processing our user request and everything. So SAP means it is also providing the one kind of security. to avoid the thefting the data inside of the server, to avoid the hacking the server and everything. If you secure your gateway, if you secure your gate, then nobody enter into your home, right? If you secure your gate, so in front of your home, there is a gate, right? If you secure that one, nobody will enter, right? So whenever when a person comes to near to a gate, they knock the door, then he will go, okay, you are the person, then he will open the door and he will come inside of the your home, right? Same way, here, whenever any connection is coming, so in the gateway, it will check you are the valid person or not. If you are the valid connection, then only it will allow the connection inside of the home. Okay, so this type of security settings, where can we monitor the gateway related entries and everything? So we have the transaction code that is called the SMGW is the transaction code. SMGW is the T code for the gateway monitoring and the gateway security as well. So SMGW. So if you enter the SMGW here, SMGW here. So you can see the all the gateway connections and everything we can see it here. So here, so if just to go to here, just click on the logged on clients, you will see the connections here. So these are the common IGS connection. This is our real connection. So I connected through this connection. This is my connection. That's why my connection is okay. This is my connection. If I delete these connections, if I delete this connection, I will be logged out from the same system. I will be logged out from the system. But this cannot be logged in. Why? Because my connection, if I am only deleting, it will not allow. So you have to delete for the other connections, you have to delete it, not your own connections, right? So here gateway is the process, it will secure our connections. Suppose if you see here, so what are the RFC? So this is your connection. When you logged into the system, all this is your connections. Go to here. So here you can see the active connections and all these details you can see. So here, suppose you can also go to the experts functions, security, and maintain the it's kind of more security rules we can find out here. More security, more security. That is kind of secinfo and reginfo files we can maintain more here. So what is this exactly here? So before I going to the here, you can see the trace level, number of connections. So all this information we have. What is this? So how many connections it will allow one application server? Only 2000 connections. So 2000 maximum 2000 connections it will allow. If any 2001 request is coming, then your system will not allow that connection. Why? Because your limit is only 2000 connections. So whenever you are connecting to the respective application server, so here gateway limit is 2000 connections only. If the 2001 person is coming, then it will not allow the connections. But we have to increase this limit, we have to increase it. Where we have to increase the limit and everything, we'll discuss that one. It will come in the profiles and the parameters concept. Now, this is the way. Okay. So here SMGW is the transaction code for gateway related monitoring and everything. Go to the here, then go to the expert functions, go to the external security. Here you can configure it. So here you can configure the more security as well. So P is equal to user star. P means permit. User star means all users it will allow. So which you don't want to allow all the users. You want to allow the only specific user. Then you can restrict it. Normally, most cases, everyone they will allow the users, right? Then they won't touch this secinfo and reginfo files. Some organization they won't touch the secinfo reginfo file. Some organization they will touch the reginfo secinfo file. Banking sectors they will secure their gateway. Why? Because banking most of the hackings will happen in the banking servers only. So they will do the more secure on the banking servers only. So if what they have to do, they have to go to the here, they have to configure the secinfo and reginfo files they have to configure it. What is the secinfo and reginfo files means? Here you need to provide the so line here. You need to provide. You want to permit. So what is the TP? What is the user? What is the IP? So suppose like IP starts from 90 to start. What is the user? You want to allow the user starting from suppose Suppose ABC star. Suppose ABC Ravi, ABC Prashant, ABC someone, ABC. So you want to allow. So there must be a ABC star. So all users ABC star, only ABC star users will allow it here. So like that we can do our security things here. This is the to secure more the gateway. We need to configure the secinfo and reginfo files. We have to configure it. The few organizations, they won't prefer it. They will allow all the connections, but few organizations, they will do some restrictions. Okay, they will do some restrictions. So this is the way we have to check our gateway and everything. Okay, suppose here we have if we go to the gateway, go to trace. Here we have the gateway trace file. You can open the gateway trace file. In the gateway trace file, what exactly happening? Any disconnections, any connections it is allowed, any connections it is disconnected. All the information will be recorded here. All the information will be recorded here. Here we can see. So is there any connection is disconnected? Any errors are occurred? So sometimes we will get the request like few users are unable to log in, few users are able to log in. Only one country specific user is unable to log in. In this case, so something is wrong with the connection. Why our gateway work process is rejecting only this person connection? So we need to check that logs and everything. So this logs and troubleshooting, so we will get more. So we have to discuss that logs and everything. So there is a topic called the SAP work directory topic. In that case, we will discuss more on this logs and everything. Okay, for now you can just practice the message server, logon groups, and gateway. These three transaction code, whatever we discussed, these three, so you can practice it. Okay, for today you can practice the message server, logon groups, and gateway. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the spool, printers creation and spool and everything. Then once that is done, we have the client administrations, transport administration, we have the other topics are there. Then we will discuss one by one. Okay, so this is about for today. So any questions from anyone?